This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and we are here in Wheat Ridge. Since 1981, we've had Harriet's Treadle Arts, and we are here with mother and daughter. We're here with the founder, Harriet, as well as Carrie, the manager now. We'll start with you, Harriet. What got you involved in this industry? I know you have a long history of it, and along with your family, and now you're bringing your own family into it. Tell me about that.
Well, way too long. My mother was a quilter, and I became a quilter in the 70s, and Mom and I opened the store, actually in 1981. So Carrie grew up here, and when I was ready to get rid of it, she decided to come in and take over the family business. So now it's 3 generations that we're here.
Fantastic. So during the 70s, you did a little bit of teaching, then you decided to break off and open a store. At that time, basically, machining wasn't the kosher thing to do.
No. No, we were black sheep, definitely. Back then, you couldn't even do machine piecing and go to quilt guilds and show your work. So we were definitely, we're kind of mavericks. And I developed techniques on the machine to make my work look like my mother's, who did it by hand. And then someone nationally saw me at a seminar I was at and asked me to write a book, and that's where it all started.
Wow, fantastic. So not only were you accepted in that circle as somebody who was actually doing some machining, but you were the first store to actually bring it here to Denver as well?
We were.
Excellent.
Yeah, we were nobody's favorite people at that point.
Fantastic. But now it's the standard, right?
It is.
That's what people do.
Yeah,
it is the standard, and you basically developed a technique that made it look like it was just, they probably couldn't tell the difference, and they liked that.
Yep, they did. And the thing was that it kind of kept the industry going because it allows you to make the quilts in a lot less time than it does with hand quilting. So it allowed us to sell more fabric and make more quilts. And it doesn't look identical to hand quilting, but from a distance, you really can't tell. That's the style that we started. It's changed a lot now, but that's where we started, was replicating handwork. It's all technique. It's all technique. It's getting people to understand the process of making a quilt and working on a home sewing machine to quilt those quilts. And I mainly specialize in the machine quilting itself. We're now writing a series of books on the piecing, which is keeping us busy. And I also teach machine applique. But everything's done on a machine and mastering it to the point where it's impeccable. It looks very, very well done.
Fantastic. So you actually do some teaching before we go on to Carrie here, and we talk a little bit about what the store offers and what we have here under one roof. You actually worldwide, you've gone out there, you've done some teaching. I know you wouldn't, but it's worldwide in all 50 states. Tell me a little bit about these quilters retreats.
Well, I have been international. I've been on the road 28 years now, and I've been in many, many foreign countries, pretty much stateside now. And I work for quilt guilds and quilt shops and do weekend or 2 or 3 day classes for them. And then we do retreats here at the store that are 4 to 5 days. And it's pretty intense. We call them boot camp instead of retreats. And
tell me a little bit, Carrie, what do we have all under one roof here? I know we started out with Mom, 600 square feet,
600
and then we're up to 3,600 square feet. That's 6 times growth. That's huge.
Yep.
And so tell me everything you got under one roof here.
Our main thing is that we are an education center, but we kind of like to fashion ourselves as a honest-to-God true quilt shop. Whereas if you come in here as a true honest-to-God beginner, that we can help you from there all the way up to the advanced quilters. We supply all the notions and stuff for somebody that is doing really advanced quilting and needs the supplies and stuff for that. So, and then we have a wide variety of fabric. We also specialize in vintage reproduction fabric. We've got one of the largest selections now in the state. But our biggest thing, and almost a fourth of our store, is the classroom, and we offer classes 3 times a year, big ones, big schedules that run 3 times a year. So
if you can't find what you're looking for in 3,000 bolts of fabric, something's wrong, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The batting that we carry is the 17 different types, and because we like to style ourselves as a real quilt shop, it gives you all kinds of different looks and feels and textures, and it really depends on what your ultimate goal is for what you want your quilt to look like when you're done with it. Tell
me a little bit more about these local classes. Obviously, we have at the bottom of the screen right there their website right there, and so you can actually go there, check them out, and contact them that way. But let's start out with the beginner. Somebody, why quilt in the first place? Somebody out there thinking, why would somebody get into this?
In my case, I got into it because of the heritage of the whole thing. I mean, my family obviously has a long history of it, but because there's something just warm and secure and just wonderful about making a quilt, and it's something that you can do with your own hands. You can make it for a baby, for a friend, for your own baby, for your elderly grandmother or whoever, and it's something that you physically have done, not just gone out and purchased. So but we do teach all the way from beginners to relatively advanced classes, and we've got 1 day up to 3 day class.
I think the neat thing is they actually are creating something that's unique, one of a kind. You can't go into a store and pick up this particular quilt. I mean, so that's got to make it very special for people on the receiving end as well as the person who is creating it. It's got to be very rewarding.
Very much so. Very much so. That's why I took over the store. So keep it open and keep that heritage going for other people as well. So
Well, we also avoid kits, which is the big mainstay of the industry, is making kits. And we've tried it, and it doesn't really work for us. We really are into having people pick their own fabrics, make it very original to themselves, make it unique to themselves, and instead of just one of 30 or 40 kits going out that are identical. So we really avoid kind of the mainstream way of doing quilting today.
Mavericks again. Mavericks again. Breaking the rules once again. Fantastic. But what's great about it, like you said, I mean, it wasn't the thing to do way back then. People didn't like the word machine, probably. And you guys don't call it machine. You actually call it what?
We call it hand quilting with an electric needle. Hand quilting with an electric needle. In fact, I was actually the poster girl for Bernina years and years ago, sewing machine company, and we put that underneath the picture, and people went crazy thinking there was some new electric hand needle, forgetting that needle is in the machine, which makes it electric. So that was the cutting edge at the very beginning in the early 80s of understanding that machine could do so much for us besides just sew a straight seam.
So all the accessories, everything that person needs here is right under one roof, not to mention a backroom class area there where you can actually learn hands-on, learn how it's done. It's kind of a great environment here. It's kind of a little haven for them, I imagine. Ladies come in here, get away from the hectic world out there.
It's like a bar for men, for women.
A colorful bar.
yes, very colorful.
Come in and hang out like men hang out in a bar.
Very nice. Very nice. And if the ladies out there or anyone wants to get a hold of you, talk a little bit about it. Obviously, the phone number's at the bottom of the screen right there. But do you have a blog out there as well they can kind of go back and forth on?
We have actually a couple blogs. We have one directly for the store, which is Harriet's treadlearts.blogspot.com, and we also have one that's associated with the piecing books that Harriet and I are teaching, where we keep a lot more just quilting and piecing information out there, and kind of we both get on soapboxes every now and again about certain aspects of the quilt world, and that's quiltersacademy.blogspot.com. So
what do you think is, before we leave here, is there anything out there you'd like to let the viewing public know that maybe they have a misconception about, or maybe don't know what you have here all under one roof?
Well, I think the misconception with quilting is that it's quick and easy. You know, quilt in a day, quilt in a weekend, just throw it together, have it done, and you call yourself a quilter. We're really into teaching the art and craft and skill of quilt making, and it's a serious deal for us, is that the quality of the workmanship is there, but we teach you how to get there quickly instead of struggling for 10 years to get that precision. You can get it pretty quickly if you start out with good basics, and then that's what we're really all about, is getting people on good footing and get started and have success faster.
Obviously, they can come here and get your books here as well. Anywhere online where they can actually get the books as well?
Amazon is one of our biggest.
our website as well.
Website is they're always available there. So
Perfect. That sounds good. And Carrie, anything else out there?
Just if you come in and visit, I mean, we truly tried to make this like a home experience. So we've got antiques and all kinds of great stuff. We also have the big overstuffed chair for the men up in the book department, so they can take their time up there, and so just get lost and let the women enjoy. And so yeah,
Perfect. Well, folks, there you have it. Come on down, learn the actual art of quilt making from someone who has been around since the 70s teaching it. Come on down to Wheat Ridge here and come on and see Carrie and Harriet. And this is Gary Atencia with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.